Vandeham Shri Gurur Shri Yutapadakamalaam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvatam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindha Deenabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayine Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Dvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Janmadhyasya Tonvayaditarata Charte Subhigyaswarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Muhyanti Yat Surayah Tejo Varimritham Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trusargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiret. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, chapter number 13, verse number 43. The sages are continuing to pray to Lord Varaha, and in the previous prayers they spoke about his form as personification of the sacrifice, and then described about he being the Vidya Guru, or the teacher of transcendental knowledge. And then they described the beauty of the Lord as he was appearing while carrying the earth. And finally they prayed to him that he should place the earth for the benefit of all the movable and immovable living beings. And again prayed to him, describing earth as his wife and mother of everyone. So now they are closing the prayers. So they say, Kasraddadhita anyatamasthava prabho rasam gataya bhuva udbibarhanam na vismayo sao tvai visva vismaye yo mayayedam sasrujeti vismayam. He says that, O Lord, who will actually believe what you have done, that you lifted the earth which has fallen into the Rasatala. And he says this is not a great wonder because you have created this world which is full of wonders. So the real wonder, he says, is that Maya idam sasrijaya ati vismayam. So the real wonder is that you have created this world by your Maya, by your energy. This is the greatest wonder. So Lord does things which are wonderful, and his creation is very wonderful. If you try to study the creation, including our own human body, then it is a wonder how the body is functioning. So many cells, different types, and how they are cooperating with each other, how they are making the body work. And then the whole thing has somebody in it who thinks that it is he who is this. Although there are so many parts in it, but still we have the feeling that we are one. Although we are dependent on the function of all these cells, and one little problem can cause disturbance. If some cells get sick, then how they try to cure themselves, this arrangement is there. And like that there are so many wonders, how these big planets, they are hanging in the air. Now we may study them, that this gravitational force and this orbit, but how it was placed. You may say that it broke off from the sun. How did it break off? And if it broke off, then why it came out of its orbit? If some piece of earth breaks off, then it does not go out of the orbit of the earth and then start rotating around it. So many fantastic things. And why is that earth happened to be only at this particular distance from the sun? If it was 4% this way or that way, either it will be too hot or too cold that nobody can live here. Now we are already worried that if temperature increases by a few degrees, the whole lifestyle will change. So imagine if the earth was little closer to the sun, and then there is water, and then the balance of the air, the mixture of nitrogen and oxygen is so perfect that we can breathe and live here. If it was a different proportion, again there will be no life. So everything is so precise, and we think that it was just an accident. It just happened like that. And then life came just because Darwin says that there was evolution. So these are wonders which have not happened by themselves, but there is a wonderful person behind them. And he is so wonderful that he does not object whatever you say about him. If you say he is there, no problem. If he says he is not there, then also no problem. So therefore they are saying that you have created this Sasraja Ati Vishmayam. This is the real wonder. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says that Tavimam Leelam Ane Duskaram Vayam Gayame Ityahu. Says that first they described the beauty of the Lord, now they are describing beauty of His activities. And it says this is not possible to be performed by anyone else. Therefore we will sing about it. Kaiti, what is that? He vibho bhuva udvibarhanam tavat tvat kartrikam tavatto anyatama ka shraddadhita kartum sprihet adyavaset. So he says that who will even think of lifting the earth? If the earth falls down into some ocean down, who will even think to lift it? There are some cranes available which can pull it out. Nobody will even believe that someone can do it. They will say it's just a story. So they are also knowing this, that in 21st century people will not believe it. Right? So that's why saying that Ka Shraddhadita, that who will put faith in this, that you lifted the earth? Most people will not put faith in it. Why? Because it is such a wonderful thing. You cannot imagine that such a thing can happen. So that's why they are talking about it. And they are saying that Vidunvata Vedamayam Nijam Vapur Janastapa Satyani Vayam Satashikodbhuta Sivambu Bindubhir Mrijyamana Bhrishami Sapavita. Says that we are purified, we the residents of Janaloka, Tapaloka and Satyaloka, we are purified because you are shaking your body and the water from your mane is splashing on us. So we feel purified with that. Satasiko Bhuta Sivambu Bindubhi says these drops of water which are coming from your mane, they are very auspicious. Sivambu. Sivambu means auspicious water. Sivambu also means something else. Anybody knows what?
Urine.
Yes.
Urine.
Urine is also called Shivambu. Ambu means water and Shiva is Shiva. Shiva also means auspicious. So there is also urine therapy. And that is called Shivambu therapy. Shivambu Rog Chikitsa. So people drink their own urine and cure diseases. That is called Shivambu cure. But this is different Shivambu. See the water from Lord's body. So it's just like when they do sacrifice, then you take this kusha grass and you dip in this water purified by the mantras and then you splash it on people. So Lord's body has hair, and we already read that this hair is like the barhi, it's like that grass which is used in the sacrifice. And his body is Vedamaya. His body says Vedamayam Nijam Bapu, personification of the Vedas, Vedic mantras. So it is as if this hair are like that grass, barhi, and then mantras have been chanted into this water and he is splashing. So that is supposed to purify you. It's called holy water. Like you go to the temple, they sprinkle holy water on your head, or you go to the church, they also have some holy water there.
Yeah.
So this is the holy water, and water has the purifying characteristic. Like fire has purifying quality. You want to purify some metal object and put it in fire. Or you want to clean yourself, then use water. So they are considered as purifying agents. And if you chant mantra in them, then they purify more. They become more potent by the power of the mantra. So it is as if mantra has been chanted. So it says Vimrijyamana, it is cleaning us. Brishamisa Pavita, we have been purified by that. It says that Prithvi Uddharanam Tvaina Vishmayo. Vismaya Punarayameva Yattan Mishena Maharnave Nipatata Vastutastu Asmasu Eva Kripa Parvasena Tvaya Swanga Chalanam Ritair Urdhordham Prapitair Vayam Rishya Kritarthikrita Ityahu Vidunvata. So he says that it is not a wonder that you have uplifted the earth, but the real wonder is that on the pretext of lifting the earth, you went and took a dip in the big ocean, Maharnave Nipatata. And this is really speaking your grace on us, because then you come out of from there, and then from the water which has washed your body, you are throwing it on us. So in India, in the temples, we have a custom that every morning the deities are given bath in the water, and that water is considered as holy water, and you drink it and also put it on your head. That is called Charanamrita, or nectar coming from the feet of the Lord. So he says that this water is like nectar, Amrita, and you are bringing it up because these people who are in the upper planetary system and this ocean is down. So Varadev is coming from down up, and when he's shaking, then the water is splashing all the way up to Janaloka and Satyaloka. So this is really your grace. You are really sprinkling us with your blessings. So this is the real wonder, that we have become blessed by you. So according to them, this was the real purpose of bringing the earth up from there, that they got blessed. Savai bata bhrashta matistaveshaste karmanam paramapara karmana yad yoga maya guna yoga mohitam visvam samastam bhagavan videsham. So this is the final verse of the prayers, and they are saying that a person who thinks that he can find an end of your activities which are unlimited, then such a person has lost his mind. Bhrashtamati. He has lost his intelligence. Anyone who is thinking like this, because you are apara karmana, there is no end to your activities, and moreover everybody is bewildered by you. Yad yoga maya guna yoga mohitam visvam samastam. So the whole universe is under an influence of your maya, and thus not knowing the reality. So how can they know the end of your activities? Therefore it says Bhagavan Videhi Sham. It says, O Lord, let there be peace. So Lord is performing many activities, and we cannot know all of them, because He is unlimited and there are unlimited universes. This is not the only universe. There are innumerable universes. In every universe He performs various activities in different forms. So how can we know? So it says, Evam tval lila katim varnayamo. So earlier they said that we will describe your lila, your pastimes, your activities. Now they are saying that how many can we describe? Sarva ved vidopi tval lila sindho kanamapi samastena na vidme. Says even those who know all the Vedas cannot know a drop from the ocean of your leelas, your pastimes. Ke punar anya varaka. And what to speak of ordinary people? Even those who know the Vedas, they cannot fathom the limit of his activities, because he is called Ananta. He has no end. Savaiti yastav karmanam param esate janati janami iti abhimanyata iti artha. So one who thinks that he knows the end of your activities, your pastimes, then he says he is a Brashtamati. Such a person has lost his mind. He does not know what he is saying. Nanu maya mohito jivo na janatu nam maya atito madbhakto naradadir janati eva tatra. So someone says, all right, people of this material world may not know because they are under the influence of Maya or energy of the Lord which puts us in illusion. But there are great devotees like Narada who are free from the influence of Maya, and they can travel anywhere, they can meet the Lord, they witness his activities. So they must know. So these rishis, the sages, they are saying that no, even they cannot know. It is not possible. And why is that? So that is explained in this word, Yad Yoga Maya Gun Yoga Mohitam. Yasya Tava Yoga Maya Chit Shakti Vritti Bheda Gun Yogo Gun Melan Rupo Avidya Che Tabhyam Mohitam. So he says that you have two types of Maya. Lord has Guna Maya and Yoga Maya. There is his spiritual Maya and the material Maya. The people who are in the material world, they are under the influence of Guna Maya. Devi hiya sa gunamayi mama maya duratya. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that my Maya is gunamayi. It is made of the gunas. This Prakriti, which we are studying in Sankhya, Mula Prakriti. It's made of three gunas. And everybody is under the influence of this. So therefore they cannot know. But those who are free from this Maya, the devotees, they are under the influence of Lord's spiritual Maya. Because they have to have a relationship with God. So God does not make them know that He is God. They think that He is our friend or He is our son or He is our master, depending on type of relationship one has with Him. So they also think of Him in a particular manner. So he says, therefore, mohitam samastam aprakritam prakritam cha vishwam. So both people of the material world as well as people of the spiritual world, they are under the influence of these two types of Maya, and thus they do not know Him completely. Tatriye aprakrita tvad bhakta te yoga maya tan madhuryesu nimijya mohyante. Those who are in the spiritual world, the devotees of the Lord, they are under the influence of yoga maya. Yoga means which unites them with the Lord. And this Mahamaya or material Maya is that which takes us away from the Lord. So these people in the spiritual world, they are under the influence of Yoga Maya, and therefore they relate with the Lord. And they taste His beauty, His sweetness, and they are absolutely absorbed in it. So they don't know what other things He is doing. They don't know that He is creating here and He is coming and doing all kinds of things. They are interested in having a relationship with Him and having a play with Him. So that is their situation. So this is one type of moha, delusion. This is the desirable one. And ye cha tvad anya prakrita jivaste maya vaishik sukh dukkhesu nimajya mohantu. And those who are materialistic people in the material world, they are bewildered by the material Maya, and this makes them absorbed in material happiness and material miseries. So they forget God. Either one is enjoying or one is suffering. That's what they do. So they are bewildered in this manner and they don't know God. Kaste karmanam param gyasyati. So who can know the limit of Lord's activities? There is nobody who can know. Atasam videhi. Therefore he says, let there be peace, which means yatha jani me iti mithya vimano na bhavet. That we should not have a false pride thinking that I know. So nobody can claim that they know. In the Upanishad there is a statement that one who knows does not know. One who says he does not know, he may know. Because one who thinks that he knows, he already does not know. Because God himself cannot know his limit. If someone is unlimited, then how can he know? The very word unlimited means there is no limit. And if you know means that you have grasped everything. So you can only know something which is limited. If I ask you what is the value of pi, then you cannot tell me exactly. Because it has no end. Pi is 22 by 7. And you can say, okay, 3.1714, and then it goes up to infinity. So you may stop after 1, 2, 3 decimal point, but still it is not exact. So we cannot even know these things completely, what to speak of knowing God. So therefore he says, let there be peace, means let us not become proud, thinking that we know. There is also a story in the Upanishad that this I think Satyaketu, he went to study to Banaras. So it's always a place of learning. Then after studying, he came back. He was there for 12 years studied whatever was available there, and he was given the degree. Then he walked back home and he was very proud that I have learned everything. So he came, and his father already could see that fellow is very proud. Because a proud person has a way of talking and walking. A humble person has another way of talking and walking. And because father was learned, he could see that this fellow has not learned anything. So when he came, he asked his father, his father saw him and he saw that he is very proud. So he asked the son that, have you learned everything? And he said, yes, Papa. I know everything. I studied everything. He said, yes. Then he asked him a question, that have you learned that thing by knowing which everything becomes known? Yasmin vigyate sarvam vigyatam bhavati. Have you studied that? So the son was caught on the wrong foot. He says, what is that? I never heard anything like this. That by knowing which everything becomes known. So I studied grammar, I studied the Vedas, I studied the mantras, the sacrifice, Nyaya and Sankhya, all this I studied, but never heard anything like this. So of course, he was humble enough to accept that he does not know this. He was not so proud that he could tell a lie. So then his father said that if you have not studied that, then you have not studied anything. Because everything is zero without knowing that. Only when you add one, then the zeros will have meaning. Otherwise, you are a void fellow. There is only plenty of air in your head and no stuff. So you will talk and impress others, but you are an empty tin, because empty tin makes a lot of noise. Even if little air is blowing, it will make noise. They are ready to talk. You've seen some people, they are just looking that they find someone. So then they talk and talk and talk and talk. So there's nothing inside it, just making noise. So he says, now you go back, and if you want, I can also come with you. But study that one thing and then come and talk. So then he studied, he went back and he came again, and then the father asked him, so now you know? So then he said, well, those who think they know, they don't know. So he says, okay, now I'm satisfied with it. So that's what the sages are saying, that such people who think that they can find an end to Lord's pastimes, they are brashtamati. He's using a very heavy word. He says they have lost their intelligence, which means they are insane. It's another way of, little milder way of saying that the guy is crazy. That's what it means. So then Maitreya, he speaks. Maitreya Vacha. Maitreya said, Iti upasthiyamanastairmunibhir brahmavadibhihi salile svakhurakranta upadhatta vitavanim. So he says that in this way, when Lord was praised, glorified by the sages who know the Vedas, then he put the earth on water, which he was moving with his hoofs. So earth was placed. And then Saitham Bhagavan Urvi Vishwaksena Prajapati Rasaya Lilyo Unnitam Apsunyasya Evari. So in this way, Lord, who is Vishwaksena, who has his army all around, who is Prajapati, the protector of everyone, he placed the earth on water and then he disappeared. So that's what he did. Places the earth, then he goes away. Upasthiyamana stutya paricharyamana salile upari swakhurakrante iti jalepi dharan shaktya-adhanam darshayati avita rakshaka yeyo svalokam iti sese antardhaneti. So, being worshipped by the prayers, then he put the earth on top of the water, which he has given his dharana shakti, or power to hold it, and then he went to his own planet, or he disappeared. Yevametam harimedaso harehe katham subhadram kathniyamainaha Srinvita bhaktya savyeta goshatim janardhanopyasu hridi prasidati. Anyone who hears this pastime of the Lord, which is very auspicious and which destroys all the materialistic ideas, then what will happen? Then Lord will very quickly become situated in his heart. So this is the benefit of hearing these stories. If you hear it properly, this Kathniya Maina, Lord whose Kathniya, whose stories are worth spoken, and who has this Maya Shakti, which means he has his grace. Maya also means grace. Then anybody who recites this or hears this, and these pastimes are usati, means they are very attractive. You hear them, at least you think that what is this going into the ocean and lifting the earth, and a boar, and he's being glorified and he's shaking his body and water is going. So these are more wonderful than Harry Potter stories. And they purify your heart, and then Lord comes and takes his place in your heart, because he comes and sits in a clean place. So if the heart is full of garbage, then he is not ready to come there. So therefore one word used here is Hari Medhasa. Medhasa means material intelligence here, and Hari means one who takes away, so one who cleans. So this hearing the stories does cleansing of the heart. And then Hari, he is happy. Janardano Asya Ashu Hridhi Prasinati. The Lord is becomes situated in the heart. So this was also said in the very beginning of Bhagavatam, that Sadhyo Hridya Vruddhate Atra Krutibhi Susrushubhi Statakshanat. That one desires to hear this Bhagavatam, and Lord comes and sits in the heart. So same thing is being repeated here. Haranti bhakt sansaram nashayanti medha buddhiri yasmin tasya. So Hari Medhasa means that which destroys the intelligence in relationship to the material world of a devotee. Kathniya Varniniya Maya Maya Shakti Kripava Swarup Shaktirva Tattvata Sravet Usatim Kamniya. So these pastimes, these stories are called Kathniya Mayina, or of the Lord, whose Maya is worthy of describing. So if you take Maya, which is functioning here in the world, then it is also worthy to understand, or Maya means grace, and that is also worthy to describe. Or Maya also means Swarup Shakti, Lord's internal potency by which he is dealing with his devotees. So one who hears, but one who hears Tattvata, not just the story, but what is the meaning behind the stories. Then one gets purified, because the stories are very beautiful. They are very interesting stories. So there are two more verses in the chapter. I'll also complete them. Tasmin prasanne sakalasisham prabho kim durlabham tabhiralam lavatmabhihi ananya drishtya bhajatam guhashayah swayam vidhatte swagatim param. And if the Lord is pleased, then what remains unachievable? There is nothing which remains unachievable. Therefore, there is no need to ask some useless petty things. If you are going to ask something to God, what will you ask? Something very insignificant. Lord is pleased, he says, Ananya Drishta Bhajtam Guhashaya. He is Guhashaya, he is in the heart. So he already knows what you want. Swayam Vidhatte Swagatim. But let him give what he wants to give, which is Swagatim, his own place. He will give you place next to him. Parah Param. He is Para, he is transcendental, beyond everything. So people go to temple or church or mosque and they are praying for some insignificant things. There is no need. He already knows. So kim vastu durlabham api to sarvam eva sulabham. So he says what to speak of getting anything, things which are unattainable, those are also becoming easily attainable by his pleasure. Tabhir ashirbhir alam. So there is no need to ask for any blessings. Lavatma bhik shudra bhistuchavi, which may be some insignificant prayers or desires. Nacha tada bhajanasya vaifallim sankanim. So he says, well, if we don't ask him anything, then our service, our worship will go useless. So he says, no. Ananya drishtya bhagavad bhajan vyatirekena phalantar drishtim vina bhajtam swameva vidhate. He says, if you are worshipping him without desiring anything, ananya drishta, purely, having vision only on pleasing him, then he himself will give you without asking. Guhashayatvad ahet kim bhaktim jananiti swami charana. Because he knows if you don't want anything, then he will give you the best thing. And that is love. So he will grant you love and then you have everything. The most rare thing is love. And that is the thing which God does not give easily. He can give other things. You want some wealth, power, position, he will give you. But muktim dadhati karishit smana bhakti yogam. He can even give you mukti, liberation. But love is rare. Because when he gives you love, then he comes under your control. Because love is the Vasikaran mantra, the mantra to control. If someone has love for you, then that person is under your control. The love is real love, not this materialistic love, but the true love. So God does not give that so easily. Therefore, if we have to ask anything, then that is only love and nothing else to be asked. And if you don't ask, then that is the thing which he will give you. Because when you don't ask anything, then he gives. So the last, and that is called Swagatim here, that which brings you to him. Ko naam loke purushartha sarvit pura kathanam bhagavat katha sudham apiye karnanjali bhir bhavapaham aho virajyeta vina naretaram. He says, who is that person in this world who knows the essence of the Purushartha, means the highest goal of human life, and who has drank the nectar of the pastimes of the Lord with the ears, Karnanjali apiye, bhavapaham aho virajyet, and gives up this material existence. So he says, who is that person who will not like to drink this nectar in the form of Lord's pastimes? He says, only someone who is not a human being. Vina naretaram, except for somebody other than a human being, some animal. So only animals are not interested in hearing. They are busy barking. For no reason they bark. Dogs in India, you see, they are just barking. If you tell them, come here, some story, they are not interested. They will sit in one corner and they'll look into the sky and they go on barking. And then you go and you wonder, why is he barking? This is his pleasure. This is how he's digesting his food. Daytime sleeping and nighttime barking. So this is only animal who do that. So human animals are also doing that, talking uselessly, barking with each other. But if you say that, listen something about God, they say we have no time. Because we are busy barking. So he says, Virajyeta vina naretaram. That person who is not interested, he should not be a human being. So in the beginning also we read that a person who does not hear katha or pastimes of the Lord, he does not have ears, they are like the holes in which snakes live. Bhaktireva sarva purushartha mahafalam iti jananeva saragya uchyate. A person is called really scholar who knows that love is the essence of all our actions. Whatever you do, whatever you want, the highest is love. One who knows this, he is to be considered as a saragya, means real knowledgeable person. If this person knows. Because if one does not know this, then one is still wondering about some temporal objects which are going to put him in some miserable situation sooner or later. Bhakti purusharth sadhanam eva natu swata phalrupa iti vyachakshanastu pasureva iti. And there are people who think that love is only a means to attain something. Love is not the object, ultimate object. He says they are also animals. Because if you love somebody and then you only want some material object from that person, then you are also an animal because you didn't understand what is love. Because love is a thing which is satisfying in itself. Once love is attained, then nothing else remains to be attained. Everything else is secondary. So one who thinks that by love I am going to achieve liberation, then he is also animal. Pasureva, only animal. He says, don't think he is a human being. He is an animal, 100%. Ko namiti. Purakathanam purvrittanam madhye bhavapaham samsar dhvansne. He says that these kathas, pastimes of the Lord, they destroy material existence, they grant liberation, and still one does not want to hear. He says, Aho ascharyam naretaram pasum vina ko virajyet yo virajyet sa pasura. He says this is a very great wonder, surprise, that someone can actually not take interest in this, or after hearing, then he says, okay, I had enough of it. Because virajyet means stopping or losing interest. He says he is an animal. He says these animals are not animals because they are ignorant. They don't have the ability to hear. But these human beings, they are real animals. Stop. Tena atkantya baspa kalaya muhurardemanas tachapi chitta badisam sankair vinunkata iti vakshman lakshanasya yogina pasutvam benjitam. So he says that there are certain types of yogis, they meditate on the Lord, and they meditate and they perfect, and they can see the Lord in their heart. They come to that stage, and after that they take away their mind from the Lord because they want to go into nirvana. He says they are also animals, such yogis, because they are just like people who go for fishing. that they put the bait, which is very soft, but they are cruel because this bait is inside a hook which is hard, and the fish comes and gets stuck in it. And they catch the live fish. So like that they throw the bait of bhakti or meditation to the Lord, and when Lord comes, then they want nirvana. So he says, indirectly this verse is saying that such yogis are also animals. So this is the end of 13th chapter. Iti sarartha darsinyam harshinyam bhakta chetsam tritiyo trayodash adhyaya sangata sangata satam. This is the end of sarartha darshini commentary on the 13th chapter of 3rd canto. Now we will begin 14th chapter.
Seems that there are very few human beings, mostly all animals.
According to him, yes.
All animals. Everybody has something.
That's why everybody is barking.
National Geographic Channel.
I have a question. Okay.
Sorry. We're speaking about the Atma being under the influence of either Gunamaya or Yogamaya. Is there a time when the Atma is not under these influences?
No.
No? Always? Always, even in Mahavishnu? Within Mahavishnu?
In Mahavishnu, you are under the influence of Gunamaya.
Still Gunamaya?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Atma can never really know itself?
No, you can know yourself, but it's saying that you cannot know the God completely. Because when you become devotee, you know yourself, that you are a devotee or servant, but you don't know all the powers of God.
And what I mean is that under Gunamaya and Yogamaya, under that influence, there's a certain identity that comes,
Yeah,
right?
but when you are under the influence of Yogamaya, you know your true identity. Yeah, only because of the influence of Yogamaya, you don't know God as He is completely. That is the influence of Yogamaya.
You know your true identity as the sevak of the Lord,
Yeah.
but you don't know Him completely,
Yes.
because Yogamaya has given you a specific frame of identity and reference to Him,
Right. And you function in that.
and you function within that. Right?
Because knowing Him completely will become an obstacle to your
yeah,
function. So
Yeah.
there's no need.
yeah.
Therefore, He has to keep you covered to certain aspects of God.
Right. Okay. Okay, that's very interesting.
I want to ask about this energy who keeps the earth floating on the water. Which type of energy it is?
Which type of energy? It's like you keep a boat floating.
I mean, the earth is not like a small thing.
No, but the big ship can float, and so much tons of weight on it, and still it floats.
Before was sinking in the water.
Yeah,
I
so
know.
so there's a technique how to make things float.
Yeah, that's why what is this?
So you use that. The same ship can also drown.
If there is a hole.
Yeah. So he closed the hole and he's floating.
I have two more questions if others don't have any problem with that. You were speaking very nicely about not asking anything from Krishna. And when one does that, He will give you prayer, right? So now I would like to understand more. What is this asking for anything that denies one?
No, because I am sick, oh God, give me health, let me become healthy. Or I don't have money, arrange something for me. Various types of things people ask.
Yeah, but does that include asking for things that you need or you would like to have to increase your service to him?
Yeah, he's saying that there is no need to ask.
Okay.
That's why I use the word Guhashaya. Guha means the cave of the heart. And he is there. So he already knows. So if I know that this is what you need, then you tell me, give me this. But I say, I know it. So by asking me, you are informing me that as if I don't know. In a way, you are telling me that I am ignorant.
Is this offense?
It's not an offense. I think not an offense, but this it also signifies that.
That sort of takes some of the fun away, you know? So, okay, and so that would also include if one develops the desire to change their focus of seva. For example, they've been doing Pujari service for many years and now they feel, you know, I want
That's
to-
what I'm saying. If you feel like this, then don't ask. He knows it.
He knows it.
And if whenever you are qualified or he wants, he will do it for you.
So
What
you
he's
don't
saying
make
is
any
that
arrangement, you just wait and see what happens.
you act, but don't ask him.
Don't ask him.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
that's what he's saying. That there is no need of asking.
Mm,
That's what the verse said.
okay. Okay. Thank you. And so the last question is, at the beginning you mentioned about the power of the mantra and the mantras, that power of the mantra is entering into the water, right? So I'd like to know, what is the power of the mantras and how do they get that power and how is that transferred into the water?
What is power?
Can you tell me?
You are asking me, so first I'm asking, what do you mean by power? When you say power of something, what do you mean by that?
It's energy, it's ability, it's Shakti, it's...
Power means something which can perform an action. Energy means by which you can do some action. Right? When you say that this person is very powerful, means he can say lift so much weight, or if he is spiritually powerful or intellectually powerful, means he can do something. So power means the capacity to perform some act. Right? This is what power means. Now depending on what type of power it is, then it will be able to perform a particular type of act. So if you have electric power or magnetic power, then they can do work in a particular manner. So similarly, mantra has power. Right? Mantra has power in it. It has energy.
So that means it has the power to act, to perform an
Yeah.
action.
So that power you can transfer into water, and then that power can also be transferred to you.
Where does that power come from?
It is in mantra. It's not coming from anywhere. It's like if you say electricity has a power.
I'm trying to find out.
If I have a battery, and the battery has a power, then you say from where it is coming? It is inside it only. It's how the electrons and protons are arranged in it, so there is a charge in it. It has that power.
So you're talking about an inherent power.
Yeah. Mantra has inherent power in it.